Hi guys, I am Ms Starr, and if you are watching this video, then you're either one of my students or possibly you are a parent that would like to learn a little bit about your child's teacher, and you are going to watch this video in lieu of going to an in-person open house. So I wish we could meet in person, but maybe we will someday. First of all, I wanted to tell you that I am here for you. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out. I'm here for your student, and I want to make sure your student is successful. I really wish that we could see each other face to face, but it is important that your child and I establish a relationship, not just through our emails, but also the mandatory virtual meetings. So I'm going to say that a couple times in this video. Make sure your student is paying attention to when those meetings are, which are posted on the lesson plans. So because we can't have an in-person open house, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been teaching for a pretty long time, since 1999, and I've been in different schools and I've taught different subjects other than English. I've been here at Rochester for over 10 years, teaching mostly English and oral communications, but also I've had other courses along the way. As you can see on your screen, this year I have some ninth graders for regular and high track English. I have oral communications classes first and second semester. I teach a short story and poetry course in second semester. And I'm also the yearbook advisor. And so I get really excited and pumped up about that. There are a few things that I want to share with you that are going to make you successful as a student if you're watching this, but also as the parent, so the parent understands what will help your child be more successful. To begin with, your child should be checking the lesson plans at the beginning of each week, because that's the skeleton and the structure of what will happen in the weeks to come. So for example, I have one of my lesson plans that I will just show you briefly here on the screen. It lays out what is happening for the week from Monday through Friday, and it will have links to the Google Meets, and it just explains a number of things that are going on. So if your child sees me on Tuesdays, Thursdays in the virtual learning environment, or Wednesdays, Fridays, it's laid out for them quite succinctly, and I don't think it's very confusing. But again, if you have questions, please reach out. Keep the dates organized. Make sure that you're checking your Canvas calendar and you're looking at the lesson plans and you understand when your Google meetings are and when your homework assignments are due. It is critical. We're going to see that on the next screen. And then finally, as I've said now a couple times, please reach out to me if you have questions. Now, this is for all classes, not just my classes that I teach, but also the other classes that you're in. Let's suppose it's your math class and you don't understand how to do something. Obviously, you want to ask your teacher, right? So for parents and students alike, everyone wants to know, well, what will my student do in terms of homework? Well, let's start off by saying that the due dates matter this year. This is not like last spring, but you're going to have a variety of assignments in each of your classes. Maybe it's one of my English courses or my oral communication classes. And the assignments might be discussion boards in Canvas, or they might be writing assignments on Google Docs. And we will have short and long assignments. So if we say it's my English class for freshmen, we might be discussing literature and answer about 10 to 20 questions about some story, or perhaps we're working on a research paper. If it's an oral communications course, we might be researching information for a speech, and we'll get to that in a moment. But the due dates, again, are very important for you to track due to multiple activities that might overlap. For example, I have in the parentheses here, grammar and literature might happen in the same week in your English class. So please keep track of that. If you have late work, you'd better have a good excuse that you need some extended time. But I need you to contact me immediately, because again, the due dates do matter. So where are we going to find these grades? And how can I check? You're going to look on Canvas. Now, I'm new at it. I'm definitely not an expert, but we've all now explored a little bit of Canvas, and we've gotten used to what Canvas looks like. For example, if you were to look at my English 125 homepage here on the screen, there are a number of buttons that you can click to get to things such as your lesson plans or a syllabus. And I'd like you to go there if you want to look into some of the details that I'll talk about more deeply that I can't cover in just a few minutes in a video. So again, Canvas is the place to go. Now, let's talk about some of the courses. If you're not in English 124 or 125, you can skip this part of the video, but it's important that at least those students and those parents know that the course for freshman English is designed to help develop your writing and your grammar skills. And we do that through a variety of writing methods, like literary responses or narrative stories that we tell, or even an argumentative research paper. But we also have some reading units. We're going to read short stories. We're going to read some nonfiction. We're going to read some novels and even some drama toward the end of the year. So here's a screen that's going to show you some of the books or the drama that we might read, including like Animal Farm. Okay, so let's move on now to oral communications. If you're in this course, it's really a 2-semester course, but you can just take part 1 if you want to and never take part 2, or you can take them back to back. It's really up to you. But this course is strictly designed to expose you to just putting yourself out there and getting up in front of a crowd, talking, public communication, right? So we're studying human communication, interpersonal, small group, one-on-one, but we're also studying large group. So the emphasis in the class is on public speaking, and the units that we cover, both in the book or as little speeches, they're going to develop some of your skills and also your organization or your research. Now, I want to emphasize that this course is designed to be a public speaking course, and due to the nature of you having that chance to talk in class, doing stories of the day or giving mini speeches or whatever, you really need to remember that you will be in virtual meetings so we can give these speeches. So if you're a parent, please help out by reminding your student to check the lesson plans and know that oral communications meets on Tuesdays and it meets on Thursdays, and they have specific times laid out. There are a variety of different speeches that your student might give. In the first semester, we kind of get students' feet wet by giving current events, talking about news stories that are happening in the world. But we also, in both semesters, we do what are called SODs, or stories of the day. Have your student tell you what a story of the day is, but in a nutshell, they're going to just talk for a couple of minutes to the class, and it's really kind of impromptu. They get called on. So it's a fun little way for students to get to know each other, okay, and do public speaking, but without it being too stressful. Now, on your screen here, you're going to see that there are some speeches that we could select from this year, like the Me in a Bag speech, or the holiday speech, or even the COVID-19 speech. Those are described on the syllabus, and we'll get to as many as we can in our virtual learning environment. But again, we just have to adapt to our needs. And let's not overlook beautiful yearbook. If you're not on the yearbook or your student isn't in the yearbook class, you don't have to watch this part of the video, but I think that it's kind of fun. The yearbook course is a 2-semester course, and it's really designed around the idea that the staffers are going to produce and publish what's called the Rochester Rocket Yearbook. We do this every year. We publish a nearly 200-page yearbook. Now, in order for students to be on the yearbook staff, they do need to apply. They have to have teacher recommendations. It is, as you see on your screen, a team-oriented environment. When we are in school, we're in the yearbook lab, and everybody works with partners. So the students have to be responsible. They need to be motivated. They need to be hardworking, and above all, they really need to be reliable, because there are a number of out of school activities that they may be asked to do. So due to the nature of what yearbook entails, your students must attend our virtual meetings. We'll cover a lot of history of yearbooks, and we'll talk about publication of yearbooks in the beginning, but then eventually we work in the Justin's interface and we create templates and things like that. But it is required that your student will be doing some work outside of of the classroom. And typically we start with about 6 photo events per student per quarter. And that's varied based on the needs of what's happening. Okay. So what's some other important information for your yearbook staffer? Well, communication is key. I think that's key in every situation in life, right? But because you're going out to photo events or your student is going out to a photo event, they will contact me. They will tell me they need a camera, they need an SD card. We will meet. I will give them what they need. They also will turn that in. And so there's a back and forth communication, and it's practically constant. Also, students check the yearbook calendar and they're communicating with their yearbook editors about what events that they're willing to cover. Okay, so working with students in class or virtually, communication is key. Responsibility is also a major key in yearbook. You've got expensive cameras in your possession or your student has in his possession, and other students are relying on you to take good photos to use in the yearbook. So you've got to be responsible, take care of the equipment, turn things in on time, that type of stuff. As I mentioned on the last slide, students are required to do work outside of class. So that might be photo events, but working on pages in Jostens. And as you'll see further down, we do some ad sales. But anyway, the production of the yearbook involves your student working in the Jostens layout. They would conduct interviews and they're going to write copy, which means the words. And those are the articles or the captions. Okay, so there's a lot that goes into it. Your student will have a lot of training. Other duties as assigned. We do fundraising. Last year we did it 2 times. Typically it's 1 time. We need that money to help us afford the yearbook and also to afford the equipment that we use. But in order to keep the cost of the yearbook down, we also go out to the community and we sell ads to businesses. And they're not very expensive. The ads range anywhere from $40 to $400, but we need that money to come in because yearbook is also a business. So if you're interested in joining Yearbook, please apply or talk with me. Now, the final course that I want to talk to you about is the short story and poetry course. This won't be until second semester, so don't bother looking on Canvas for a description for it, but some highlights from the syllabus are simply that it's a 1 semester course and that it's designed to really immerse your student into short stories and poetry and drama. Now, I need to say that even though it's further down on the screen, writing is a big part of this course. So this course is looking for strong writers, people that love to read, and people that want to get into the discussion and kind of work out the nuts and bolts of a story, okay? So we focus on obviously short stories and poetry that's generally not covered in your typical English classes, and that means that the themes are going to vary, and it might challenge some of our younger readers because we may have some more adult themes, things like that. And the authors are atypical, which means you're not going to see your normal authors in your other courses. So if you're interested, you can talk with me personally or look at the syllabus. But again, writing and reading and discussion are key. Those are the key components. And finally, it would obviously, if we were still in the remote learning world, it would be important for you to be a part of the virtual meetings because we can't have discussions unless you're there. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope that we get a chance to meet in person. And until then, again, if you're in one of my courses, I look forward to meeting you virtually and email and all that and working with you this year. Thank you so much.